this message should go out to everybody. Gansana is my people. Please do not mess with her. And Martin Willie Thomas, they're going to do the best they can for the community. So I'm just letting you know, Gansana and Mark Willie Thomas are my people and support this issue. So if you have any problems, call me at 310-497-7747. I'm not playing it. Messing with Gansana, that's like messing with me. Thank you.
Right, don't call my office, call the chief. Next speaker, hi Kim.
Hi, good morning everyone. Kim McGill from the Youth Justice Coalition. I want to repeat some of what people have said because I think it's so important. LA County has the largest jail system on the planet, and we deport more people than any other place in the United States.
Which is good.
We also have the largest immigrant population, and we're founded on immigrants long before Americans illegally took this land. I think it's important to have a task force that's made up of the community, especially people that face deportation or whose family members do, to think about this more thoughtfully and more long term. We know that LA has oftentimes led in terms of suppression, not only in terms of deportation, but in terms of other regressive laws. The first anti-immigrant laws actually came out of Los Angeles County in terms of the Chinese Exclusion Act, and the largest massacre in U.S. history still.
Yeah, but they came legally. The Chinese communities came legally.
So this is an issue that we have unfortunately led in the wrong way for more than 150 years, and you have an historic opportunity to lead in the right way. Thank you.
Thank you. Madam Executive Officer, I believe you have another to call up.
Would George Bersega please come forward and staff will assist you?
Good morning.
Get this out on this, since you guys have thrown me in your jail twice, so I can study the mess that I helped Chief Baca try to fix.
Just a thing. The Chinese came legally. They didn't break into the country.
I'm the one who worked with him for 6 years on the legislation because you guys didn't pass a thing without me and Celeste King the Fourth. So then this board wants to call me an avatar and throw me in the jail like your brothers, where your brothers all asked me to please come out and help stop the violence and they want to continue. Right? Facts are on the ground. You throw me in the state mental hospital, I organize in there. You throw me in the jails, I organize in there. You appointed the one guy who knows what's going on, and boy, where do you see what I got coming down in LA Unified? Yeah, you're responsible for and more corruption.
Yep.
So far, the only one that I know that's not corrupt is what Angelo Baromo runs in the health department.
Madam Executive Officer, are there any more speakers that have signed up?
No, those are Madam Chair.
That's
And
it?
it would be appropriate have my colleagues to say a few things, or if we want to have the Sheriff's Department respond to any of the issues that some of our public brought up that might need an answer. Okay, Supervisor Kuhl.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I do have some questions, partly brought up by the public, kind of on both sides, and really things that I don't quite understand yet, and maybe there are not answers yet, because we've just gone through a change in leadership and some changes have been announced. So I guess my first question is there a timeline for implementing the changes like the new notification forms for the Truth Act and the updated misdemeanor list for SB 54 that the sheriff referred to? With a microphone to the stand, please.
The sheriff has indicated that he is, it will be implemented by the beginning of the 2019.
At the beginning of the year, so after the
New
next
year.
couple of weeks.
Yes.
I'm informed that there's a new flyer given to defendants that indicates our Office of Immigrant Affairs is a resource with their phone number. And I guess I'm interested in whether our Office of Immigrant Affairs might actually have the capacity to help the number of defendants or extra defendants who might be receiving these notices. Staff asked the Sheriff's Department. The Sheriff's Department indicated they thought the capacity.
Why is all this money being spent on foreign nationals in our country?
We could have someone from OIA or DCBA or any of the areas.
This is Los Angeles, folks.
We have someone here.
Good. Yes, Pearl.
Yes.
Because sometimes it's easy for people to say, oh, you should just call them, they'll help you. But I guess we, as the
Good morning.
supervisors of this office overall, would like to know, has that had an impact, and what do you expect?
Good morning, I'm Guido Reyes, the Executive Director for the Office of Immigrant Affairs. Yes, we have discussed the capacity issue. Based on the numbers that we anticipate, looks like we may be looking at about 4 or 5 calls a day. Something that is manageable. We will monitor that very closely and to make sure that we're responsive to the needs of these individuals. One more thing that we want to emphasize, that as people call us, we want to make sure that they receive not just the legal services, connections, we also want to offer them and their families wraparound services that the county may have available.
Thank you very much. The third question goes to, in the presentation, we were told that on the form, the inmates or defendants can check that they do not wish to cooperate with ICE. Does anyone know whether there's retaliation against them for checking that instead of I will cooperate? Does the sheriff's department have any idea?
No, there is no retaliation. Whether they want to interview with ICE or not is not an issue. We give them that form at the beginning when they first get arrested, and ICE will not, even if they wish to talk to them, it will not happen until they get released, which could be a year or 2 down the line, and it's only if that individual wishes to speak to them.
So once they've served their time and they walk out the door, it doesn't make any difference whether they wanted to be interviewed or not. They're sort of at the mercy of ICE, is that correct?
Well,
I
as
hope
far
so.
as the interview, they do have a choice whether they're going to speak to ICE or not. And also they have to be qualified in order for us to even allow ICE to interview the inmate. So if they don't qualify at all, ICE does not interview.
So is there any area outside of the jail where they would still be detained on their way out?
No.
If they're released?
We can't control what ICE does, but we do have an agreement that they will not stop anybody like on our sidewalk when they come out of the jails. And they have
Oh,
not done
jeez.
that to our knowledge.
Okay, my other question, I don't think it's required, but I just wonder, do any of the defendants get any help with filling out those forms? It's a really confusing time, not that I want to say I've been arrested, but it's a really confusing time when you're arrested. And I don't know whether they get any help filling out the forms.
Yeah,
Maybe we should have limo service for them when they get out.
sure.
Through the law, we're required to give them in 6 different languages. The department
Oh, jeez.
does them to do in 26 different languages in case they don't speak,
English?
And if they do ask for help, we can help them read the form, read it to them. We will never advise of any kind of legal advice to
Help us, county.
I'm interested too in people who go to court and they're released from the court. They're not in your custody of jail, although they are, in the courtroom until they're released. Do you know whether the Sheriff's Department is transferring the non-SB 54 people that, I think as you put it, don't qualify, which means the crime is not serious enough that ICE needs to be involved? Is the Sheriff's Department transferring non-SB 54 defendants that are released directly from court to the ICE transport contractors?
No. We never transfer an inmate unless they're qualified.
They
Whether
all
it's from
qualify.
IRC, CRDF, or courts or stations, they must qualify.
Okay, I may have a few questions following, but thank you very much, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Supervisor Solis.
Thank you. Yes, there were a couple of questions that were raised by the audience, and I wanted to know if you could go back and elaborate. I think one that was raised that I'd like to get more information on is with respect to the actual plan. Once individuals are released from jail, and you're saying that ICE will no longer be on our facilities, then what is your plan? How will that actually be implemented? I want to understand that. And then I have more questions.
That is something that we are currently working on, because as you know, we can't hold an inmate any longer than it takes for them to be released. In other words, we can't hold them for ICE. So if ICE is not present in our jails, or one of their transport teams is not there present to take custody of the inmate and then custody transfer, then we must release them. So that is something we are currently working on to see how that is going to be implemented.
So the issue was raised by, I think, ACLU with respect to what's happening in another county and potential violations of the Fourth Amendment rights handing over. So how do you expect to review that, or what input are you getting from outside individuals on that, or how are you assessing it, and what is your timeline for that?
Again, the sheriff has indicated that towards the beginning of the year is when we're going to implement it. The same question was raised by the Public Defender's Office, the Fourth Amendment, and we do realize that we cannot hold an inmate any longer than necessary. So we will not do that. We will let him go if the ICE agent or the transport team is not there to pick him up. But again, it's a work in progress. We're still working it out, and we can get back to you as soon as we come up with a plan.
I'm interested in knowing what your time, you say the first of the year, that could be in the first quarter, the first month, the first 6 weeks, what do you all have in mind?
I believe the sooner or later, I believe by January.
Okay, that's good. My other question deals with posting of information when people are going to be released and they are undocumented and they're detained in
Illegal.
You talked about trying to restrict that public access. How will you go about that?
Extranjeros.
And what plan of action do you have?
Well, like I said, we have 2 lists currently on our LASD.org website that are release date. One is a release. Every inmate that is in our custody that has been sentenced and has a current release date is on that list. And the secondary to that is a pending release list, which once an inmate is in our release area or in the process of being released, they become part of that secondary list. So they could actually be on both lists. We are looking at that to check on its feasibility and whether we really need it or not. I know the public uses it, district attorney's office, other units do use that list.
And ICE uses it.
ICE doesn't.
So how will you be able to restrict their access
We
for
shouldn't.
obtaining that information?
The only way to restrict them would be to remove the list from.
Don't do it.
So you're moving in that direction?
We're looking at the
You're
possibilities.
looking, so when
Don't
will
do
that
it.
decision be made?
I'm sorry?
When will that decision be made, approximately?
Again, probably, we'll hopefully get it done by the end of January.
So January,
Yeah, we're still trying to evaluate the protocols, the advantages.
Who's that?
Taking it off entirely, it might hurt the community, it might hurt ICE, so it's a combination of balance at this particular point.
I would hope that the sheriff would enlist outside stakeholder input on some of that. I know that he has made it an effort, and he's talked about it in his campaign about soliciting support from the community. So I think it would be important for some of the groups that have come here and testified to be able to reach out to them as a recommendation to do that. And then I just have another series of questions as well. Cooperating with other task force organizations that are dealing with, I could think about arms and whatever it might be, when there are strike teams that go out in our communities alongside those task force, sheriff deputies are often called there, because if they're going in and they may be looking at a suspect that has a criminal record, and I'm assuming that sometimes sheriff may not be aware that there may be other people in the same location, in an apartment, for an example, where other unintended individuals may be picked up, and that has happened in the past. How do you propose to deal with that?
Well, the patrol side, as I said, we as the Sheriff's Department do not enforce any of the civil immigration matters in patrol. I understand we have task forces, us, with ICE agents and other agencies, but our goal is only criminal activity. not civil immigration activity. Can it happen? Of course, but we would not be involved in that. That would be strictly up to ICE and what they do with those individuals.
Will there be any training provided to your deputies and officers with that, with respect to that issue? Because that has happened as recently as last, a few months ago. And
How about training on deporting all illegal aliens?
Individuals just happen to be in the same location or picked up. And we have, the display is obviously ICE, but we also have sheriff deputies in sight. So I'm just wondering what action, what proactive steps will this sheriff take to help ensure that there's training that goes on?
There is training, and I believe about a year ago, Assistant Sheriff Rivera made a video tape that was sent throughout the department to our department members about our policies, specifically our patrol policies and our task force policies. And I believe it was part of the presentation that I put up there, our policies on that. So yeah, we do continue to train our deputies.
And just to go back on a question my colleague raised regarding information from the Office of Immigrant Affairs, I understand they don't have anything in place right now. And I know their budget and their staff is one of the smallest in our county. And I would insist that the sheriff provide the support staff necessary or training and also materials that would be provided. Because I know OIS and maybe our CEO could talk about that, but in my impression is that
She's
they
an
have a very
empress.
limited budget.
She is.
And we won't have
It's
the
outrageous.
capability of actually providing, I think, a more flourished attempt to give people the right information. And I would even go as far as saying that I think there's discussion of trying to have actual people from OIA inside the jail to talk to people. Because there are many folks that are intimidated
Lord.
and may not read good English or Spanish to begin with, or any other language.
Oh my
And
God.
they need that type of assistance. So I would want to hear from our CEO.
Don't
Good
come.
Lord, why didn't you provide them limo service to the curb,
Okay,
a box
that's
lunch,
the
and a
last-
puppy?
last warning.
This is outrageous.
Can you
You're all
please
criminals.
escort him out?
Outrageous. God bless America. You guys all deserve to stand before a firing squad.
So inappropriate. It's a public hearing. Okay. Supervisor Solis?
You got a lock in your house? You got a wall around your yard?
That's you, if you want to answer that.
Thank you.
Lord have mercy.
And yes, Rigo is here. in terms
Lord has
of,
mercy.
The number of staffing, but his unit is definitely pretty limited. And to have somebody inserted full-time from his shop would certainly take away.
It really
from
bothers me
the
that she's not
activities
listening.
that they're currently working on in terms of immigrant affairs, but Rigo could probably answer that.
Thank you, Supervisor. That's an excellent question. I think for us, we would have to do a study, look at what we are expected to do and can do, and then propose what that would cost in terms of budget and resources. I anticipate that we would want to involve the public defender's office. For instance, if someone is represented by the public defender, we want to make sure that there's communication and some other opportunities.
And I think supervisors, we could certainly meet with the sheriff's department to
Oh,
get
this is Looney Tunes.
their intent in terms of what their needs are and work both with the public defender as well as Office of Immigrant Affairs. I don't know necessarily that we need a budget request at this point in time, but again, I'd like to sit and talk to the sheriff's department in terms of what their need is.
Okay, thank you. I just wanted to, I still have a few more questions. One is dealing with a statement that the sheriff made earlier about reducing the 150 misdemeanor charges, looking at that list and coming up with a shorter list. Can you tell me or give me an idea what that process will look like and what the time, again, the time line is for that plan? And will you involve outside stakeholders?
Me.
I think the timeline's going to probably remain the same.
I'm an outside stakeholder.
We have already talked about that, and we spoke about getting a working group together, maybe with the Public Defender's Office, County Council, and different groups to look at the list and see what types of crimes, if any, will be removed from the misdemeanors.
And the time frame is still, what, 30 days or so?
Yeah, we're still trying to get this all done by the end of January.
So you'll come back and give us perhaps.
Microphone.
an update of the sheriff, yeah, on that. Okay, I think the only other thing I would say is, just more communication with the board to give us, to come back to us and give us explicit time frames when these things are going to be done. And, I appreciate the presentation that you made and also the Office of Immigrant Affairs and also our OIG for preparing, I think, a very good plan of where we are and where we probably need to go. So there's a lot more work to do, and obviously we look forward to working to make those improvements. So I thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Supervisor Solis. Supervisor Vargas.
Thank you. I want to follow up on one thing, and I'm looking at it from a different lens in terms of the release date, because I actually have used that before individuals I know who've been violence victims, who watch it to see when the individuals were released. So if you are going to change that, or ICE, I would hope that you would work with the DA, because while we're talking about ICE here today, that is used for individuals that want to know when someone is getting out of jail. And oftentimes they're not aware of it, and that's what they use. And it's not a perfect science, by the way. But I would caution you moving forward, if you're doing it for ICE, the implications down the road for innocent victims could be great. So I would hope that we would do that in consultation with the DA's office. Because I don't think you have the people power to call each individual victim.
Innocent victims
to
like Ruben.
alert them that the individual is being released, or do you?
No, and that is one of the things that we're waiting to look into whether we remove it or not.
So yeah, I would just be careful, because the unintended consequences of that could be great. And again, on personal, I have used it, so this is not anecdotally. So I know it's a very valuable tool. But I want to understand something, and I'm having a hard time. And I was asking my staff. So we keep talking about changes, and I know that safe communities in 287G are gone. Correct? No longer in play. That was what the Obama administration put into play. Safe communities 287G, correct? Okay, that's gone. So what, are we operating under the Truth Act right now?
Yes.
And how does the Truth Act measure up with the Values Act? Or do they contradict each other?
Yeah, it's, the Values Act is SB 54, and that kind of gave us exact parameters of what we need to do within the law, especially it broke down the crimes to different, the no reach back, in other words, the serious violent crimes. There is no, could have committed that crime 30 years ago. Then you have the regular felonies list, which is a 15-year drawback, and the misdemeanor list, which is a 5-year.
So does the list, and the Values Act talks about misdemeanors, correct?
Right.
So does the Truth Act list, or even Values Act list on the felony side match up to what the safe communities, again, not under this current administration, under the prior administration, that they identified as serious conviction felonies that should be deported?
Right. Prior to the Truth Act, it was just any felony, any crime. There was really, they gave us detainers for everything, and if they were on that list, they qualified. Now they're specified under the Values Act. They're under 667, I believe, 172. They're actually, every single crime is dictated under the penal code section of what can be turned over.
So under the safe communities, though, it was specific. There were specific felonies. It wasn't just all felonies, but under the Truth Act, it's all now?
Right. Under the safe communities, it was felonies or misdemeanors. Now it's subdivided into serious and violent felonies and misdemeanors.
Okay, so, and again, I'm trying to put this all together because I still am thinking safe communities 287G no more, and now the Truth Act no more. So we're starting from bottom-up approach, correct? You're rebuilding, beginning January, ICE is out, you are putting together a structure that is going to be compliant with the Values Act?
Correct, SB 54. Yeah, we're still going to continue what we're continuing now as far as our list and who qualifies. That's all dictated by the Values Act, which is essentially SB 54.
So walk me through that. I mean, then walk me through that. If I'm in your jail and I check the box that I do not want to be interviewed, okay? And I'm the DOJ, I'm already in the system, so the DOJ knows that I'm there, and I'm undocumented. Walk me through what the next, how this plays out under the new system that the sheriff proposed. And I'm getting ready to be released.
Right. So an inmate is getting released, and what needs to be, I guess, put out is that not every inmate ICE interviews. So there's very few inmates. I believe like last year we had in the 20s and teens that they actually asked to interview. The ones they asked to be interviewed are individuals that they're not sure if they're going to detain or take custody of. So the ones they know they have a detainer and they're here illegally, they don't interview. They're just ignored. So it doesn't matter whether the inmate says they want to speak to them or not. That's just part of our form because we have to give them that. But every individual gets that form.
So how many inmates do we have in our jails right now?
Right now, about 16,000.
And what percentage do you say are undocumented?
Illegal.
What percentage do you say are undocumented?
Illegal.
Of that?
You know, we don't have that because we don't ask. We don't ask that as part of the booking.
Breakdown.
And they should ask.
Well, we don't ask that as part of the sheriff's department. We don't ask for whether they're here illegally or not. All we know is that ICE has placed a detainer on them.
Okay, so based on the ICE statistic, that's what I'm looking at, and I apologize, it's not you, well, it's ICE. I'm just trying to understand, we have to comply, and, you know, when I hear things like we're gonna change the day of police, I'm sorry, I'm stuck on that, because I feel that, there are unintended consequences based on some of the actions that are taken, and I would hope, again, that moving forward, that we work with the VA's office, because while we're focused on the individuals in the jail, I'm also focused on the victims.
Thank you.
And victims' rights. Thank you. And so I think that we need to move cautiously as it relates to that.
Hello.
My last question is, knowing that ICE has had a relationship with the sheriff's department for at least 10 years, that I could think of, under the 287G and the safe communities. If we are not giving them access to any information, are there any financial implications that relates to funding coming to the county or to your department?
Not that I'm aware of. No. I think it just.
There's a human cost
The sheriff
of Americans being murdered,
ICE agents from the jails,
robbed,
I think he's made it
victimized.
clear that if an individual still is SB qualified and qualifies under the law to be turned over, and ICE has given us a detainer for that individual,
Firma,
we
I'm gonna take a
still
photo.
will,
Hold that really
work
quick.
on turning that person over to ICE. So just because they're out of the jails doesn't mean that we're gonna stop turning over individuals.
Does ICE get the information from the DOJ database then?
Do they get the information? from DOJ?
Yeah.
Right, it's part of a lot of the DOJ, FBI, that gather the information. It all goes through fingerprints, through a biometrics hit, and then that's how the detainers are placed on individuals.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. I see no more of my colleagues wishing to speak, so at this time, I believe we have item 52 before us.
It's a receiving file.
So it's a receiving file matter. If there's no objections, and seeing none, that will be the order. Thank you very much.